evening everyone. This is Manali Raj. Welcome to the CSA Relay News Bulletin presented by Chanakya IAS Academy Patna. In this segment, we demonstrate about the daily important highlights from the perspective of our civil services examination. Let us have a brief overview of today's headlines. IMD forecast El Nino will suppress rainfall in August. Lok Sabha passes cinematograph bill. Piracy to now attract hefty fines. Pakistan and China ink 6 agreements to expedite cooperation under the second phase of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Today's synoptic report is on hybrid vehicles. Moving into the details of the news, the IMD forecast that July rainfall will be on the positive side of normal or at most 6% of what is usual for the month. However, a series of western disturbances and active monsoon conditions saw July receive nearly 13% more rain than what is typical for the month. A strengthening El Nino and absence of meteorological conditions that could have offset El Nino's effects will combine to suppress rainfall in the second half of the monsoon. Usually, August gets 25.49 cm of rainfall. The Lok Sabha passed the Cinematograph Amendment Bill 2023, aimed at curbing film piracy, revamp age-based certification given by the CBFC, as well as bring uniformity in the categorization of films and content across platforms. The new law would make piracy a criminal violation punishable by up to 3 years in prison, a fine of up to 5% of the production cost of the film, or both. The bill also seeks to give CBFC the authority to grant films with a separate certificate for their display on television or other media, as only unrestricted public exhibition category films can be shown on television. The bill allows for blocking of websites and URLs hosting pirated content under the Information Technology Act. The bill will also lead to the coverage of online gaming content and online advertising, and also prohibit carrying out or abetting unauthorized recording and exhibition of films. Pakistan and China signed 6 key documents to help undertake the second phase of the $60 billion CPEC projects under a new model, further cementing the all-weather strategic relations between the Iron brothers. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng witnessed the signing ceremony to mark the 10 years of CPEC, a collection of infrastructure and other projects under construction through Pakistan since 2013. The CPEC, which connects Gwadar Port in Pakistan's Balochistan with China's Xinjiang province, is opposed by India as it is being laid through the Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Both countries signed document on the Joint Cooperation Committee on CPEC, an MOU on establishing an export exchange mechanism within the framework of CPEC, a protocol of phytosanitary requirements for the export of dry chilies from Pakistan to China, and a document on the final report on the feasibility study of the realignment of KKH Phase 2. Both sides also signed through diplomatic channels an MOU on the Industrial Workers Exchange Program. The synoptic report is about the promise of hybrid electric vehicles in cutting the short-term carbon emissions. A crucial element of the world's transition to becoming net zero is electric vehicles. In this milieu, hybrid electric vehicles present a big opportunity for economically developing countries, while their power generation and grid capacity and reliability, the fraction of renewable sources in the power generation mix, and the availability of fast charging infrastructure are still less than ideal. Hybrid electric vehicles offer a way to begin the transition instead of waiting. What is the net zero for a vehicle? The net zero for a vehicle includes emission at both the tailpipe of the vehicle and at the power plant. Making vehicles net zero requires cutting emissions from both new and existing vehicles. In a hybrid electric vehicles, an internal combustion engine is used to produce electricity with an electrical generator. A small battery, typically 1 to 5 kWh, is used in a hybrid vehicle as an energy buffer to store the electricity. The battery cannot be charged from the grid. The gist of this hybrid vehicle short-term carbon emission is that the hybrid vehicle is a crucial element in the world's transition to a net zero future. By combining the benefits of internal combustion engines with electrical drivetrains, these vehicles offer an effective short-term solution to lower emissions and fuel cost while paving the way for a more sustainable future. These vehicles offer a realistic approach for nations facing grid limitations and challenges in building fast charging infrastructure. Some government schemes in news. National Mission on Libraries Scheme. The Union Minister of Culture has declared financial assistance under the National Mission on Libraries to develop libraries in each state and UT. As per the scheme, it will provide financial assistance for upgradation of infrastructure of one state central library and one district library in each state and UT as National Mission of Library Model Library. Public libraries, as being a state subject, function under the administrative control of the respective state and UT library authority. There are 6 public libraries under administrative control of the Union Ministry of Culture, namely National Library in Kolkata, Central Reference Library, Kolkata, Central Secretariat Library of New Delhi, Delhi Public Library in Delhi, Khudabakhsh Oriental Public Library in Patna, and Rampur Raza Library in Rampur. The National Policy on Library and Information System, as envisaged by the committee formed in 1985 under the chairmanship of Professor D.P. Chattopadhyay, to foster, promote and sustain the organization's availability and use of information and to take steps for mobilizing and upgrading the existing library and information systems and services. Taking advantage of the latest advances of the technology and the training of library and information personnel have been fulfilled with the implementation of National Mission on Libraries, especially through the National Virtual Library of India component, under which Indian Cultural Portal was developed and launched. The Green India Mission. National Mission for a Green India is one of the 8 missions under the National Action Plan on Climate Change. The Green India Mission was launched in the year 2014 as a centrally sponsored scheme. Its aim is to respond to climate change by a combination of adaptation and mitigation measures, which would help enhance carbon sinks, adaptation of vulnerable species and ecosystems to the changing climate, adaptation of forest-dependent communities. Its objective is to increase the forest and tree cover on a 5 million hectare of forest or non-forest lands and improve quality of forest cover on another 5 million hectare, being a total of 10 million hectares. Improved ecosystem services, including biodiversity, hydrological services, and carbon sequestration as a result of the treatment of 10 million hectares. Increased forest-based livelihood income of about 3 million households living in and around the forest. Enhanced annual carbon dioxide sequestration by 50 to 60 million tons in the year 2020. The mission has clear targets for different forest types and ecosystems. Activities under the Green India Mission will be implemented under convergence with MNREGA, Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority (CAMPA), and the National Afforestation Program. Mahila Samman Savings Certificate Scheme. It is a new small savings scheme launched specifically for female investors and was announced in Budget 2023 to promote investment among the women. Accounts opened under this scheme will be a single holder account that can be opened at the post office or any registered bank. Any woman can open a Mahila Samman account that can be opened for herself or on behalf of a little girl. A time gap of 3 months shall be maintained between the account and the opening of other accounts. The minimum investment amount is Rs 1,000 and the maximum investment is authorized under the plan is Rs 2 lakh. The interest rate would be 7.5% annually, while the payment on maturity will be after 2 years from the date of the opening. Eligible balance will be paid to the depositor. The account holder may withdraw up to 40% of the balance after the first year from the date of account opening, but before the account matures. So far, 14,83,980 accounts have been opened with total deposit of Rs 8,630 crore under the scheme. That was all for today. Stay tuned to our channel for standardizing your civil services preparations. Thank you.